Political analyst Sukant Chandan joins us now from London to discuss the unrest in Gaza further. Netanyahu has vowed to continue with this fierce military campaign against the Palestinians. Are we likely to witness an Israeli reoccupation of the Gaza Strip?
In the last several years, the white settler colonial state, so-called Israel, has not conducted a ground invasion against Gaza because they know very well, as do our fighters, our liberation fighters in Gaza, that a ground offensive in Gaza would actually bog them down and they would suffer heavy losses as a result of the resistance in Gaza. So they prefer, in typical Zionist fashion, to bomb a largely defenseless people, apart from the rockets, from the sky. And every year or two, we are going through this tragedy and this violent onslaught to show the people of the world who's boss basically in the region. Because the Zionist state is the attack dog of London and Washington. It's not an independent mover. And the Zionist state's interest is in harmony for the last 50 years and for the foreseeable future with the interests of the West, which is basically division and destruction of all the regions and the people around it. And one of the main strategies, one of the main aims of this current onslaught is to scupper and sabotage that tenuous agreement between the two main liberation organizations of the Palestinians, that's Hamas and Fatah.
But who's actually going to stop Israel from reoccupying the Gaza Strip?
Themselves, because they're no fools. They're bloodthirsty, they're murderous, they're unjust, and they're tyrants. But they're not foolish. They're incredibly smart and they're incredibly strategic, and they know how to fight for their interests. I think the parliament speaker in Iran, Mr. Laranjani, was absolutely correct. He said that sedition and division of the peoples of the region is playing directly into the hands of the white colonial settler state of Israel. And if we look at the neighboring states, particularly Syria, which has been devastated and divided, Egypt has been devastated and divided, all by, we have to kind of track this down to who's actually orchestrating this. And the biggest puppet masters is Washington and London, with their alliances in the Turkish state and the Gulf monarchies. So we cannot have any capacity building for Palestinian liberation if the neighboring region, if the peoples of the region are divided through war in Libya, Syria, Iraq, etc. So really, the West and its main attack dog, which is Israel, know exactly how to play their game. And we've been seeing Israel bomb around a dozen times Syria in the last couple of years. So they're playing this very well. The biggest strategic threat actually currently is not the resistance in Gaza to the white colonial settler state. It's actually the resistance movement in Lebanon, which is still on the cards for attack by the West, in line with their moves on Libya and Syria, Iraq, etc.
Well, there is already talk of a ceasefire. So what do the Israelis hope to get out of these brief military operations, where literally all we end up with is a lot of dead civilians?
Well, that's an important message that the white colonial settler state wants to send to the people of the world, and particularly the people of Palestine and the surrounding area, that we can do this with impunity, with full support of the world hegemons, which is the West. They want to divide the Palestinian people more, absolutely just embarrass Abu Mazen and his leadership of the Palestinian people and struggle, and they want to deepen the division. And also there's other dangers here. We're hearing amongst the settler public in the so-called state of Israel open discussion about annexation of the West Bank. That is to take over the West Bank wholly, and possible moves for mass transfer of Palestinians to Jordan under Ikhwan and a so-called Al-Qaeda, and possibly with the monarchist state facilitating that.
All right, political analyst Sukant Chandan, we do appreciate you weighing in on that. Thanks a lot.